Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down how you can become a more articulate and confident speaker. We'll look at the core habits and the practical tools you can use to make sure your ideas are heard loud and clear.
Okay, so let's start with something I think we've all felt, right? That frustrating gap between what you want to say and what you actually end up saying. Look, you are not alone if you feel this way. And the good news is, it's a skill you can definitely build.
All right, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by really understanding the challenge and then build our internal foundation. From there, we'll get into the specifics of mastering your vocal toolkit and, of course, how to put it all into practice. And we'll wrap things up with the final takeaway that, trust me, might just surprise you.
Okay, let's dive right into our first section, building your internal foundation. Because here's the thing. Great communication isn't just about what happens when you open your mouth. It really starts from the inside out, with the right mindset and a solid knowledge base.
So you might be wondering, what's the secret to building that foundation? Well, it really boils down to 4 key habits. First up, become a reader. It's one of the best ways to naturally absorb new words and fluent sentence structures. Second, you've got to get honest with yourself about why you struggle. Is it anxiety, a lack of practice? Knowing the root cause is half the battle. Third, actively work on expanding your word bank. And finally, you got to start faking it till you make it by physically projecting confidence through your posture.
And this is where the magic really starts to happen. Having a richer vocabulary gives you so much power. Instead of just a generic word like happy, you can be elated or content or joyful. Each choice paints a much more precise picture, and it lets you convey exactly what you mean and feel. It's like going from a black and white sketch to a full color painting.
Okay, so once you've got that strong internal foundation, it's time to tune your instrument. And by that, I mean your voice. The actual mechanics of how you sound are just as important as the words you choose, which brings us right to mastering your vocal toolkit. You have to remember, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Your tone can completely change the meaning of a sentence. A strategic pause can add drama and give your listener a second to really think. And varying your speed and volume, that's the key to keeping your audience hooked. Because, let's be honest, a monotone delivery is a surefire way to put people to sleep.
You know, this is so important. Let's really talk about the power of the pause for a second. We have this instinct, right, to fill every bit of silence with ums and uhs because, well, it feels uncomfortable. But what if you just leaned into that silence instead? It gives your words real weight, and it forces your audience to truly consider what you've just said.
So we've got the foundation, we've got the tools. But all this theory means nothing if you don't actually put it into practice. So now it's time to talk about where the real, lasting improvement actually happens.
Look, becoming more articulate isn't a passive thing. You have to do the work. Record yourself so you can actually hear what other people hear. Practice improvising. It's a great way to get better at thinking on your feet. You also need to actively seek out opportunities to speak and, maybe most importantly, ask for honest feedback from people you trust. That's how you find your blind spots and really start to grow.
All right, we've covered the mindset, the tools, and the practice. But now for our final takeaway. This is a concept that ties everything together, and honestly, it might just change how you think about communication forever. It's called the 7-38-55 rule. So, according to this famous rule, all those words you spend hours picking out, the ones you stress over, yeah, they only account for 7% of your message's impact. Just 7%. Let that sink in for a moment. All that work for just a tiny fraction of the result. Isn't that wild?
So where's the rest of it? Well, a much bigger piece of the pie, 38% to be exact, comes down to your tone of voice. The pitch, the volume, the rhythm, all those vocal cues carry more than 5 times the weight of the words themselves. It's how you sound when you say something that really starts to shape its meaning.
And here's the real kicker. The overwhelming majority, a massive 55%, that's all your nonverbal cues. Your body language, your posture, your eye contact, your gestures. This is where your message truly lands, or where it can fall completely flat no matter how perfect your words were. So that leaves us with this one big provocative question. We spend so much time obsessing over finding the perfect words, but if they're only 7% of the whole equation, what would happen if you dedicated that energy to mastering your tone and your physical presence instead? That right there might just be the most powerful communication hack of all.